I'm seeing the words in chat. They're ready.
Okay.
And I'm hoping it's true. Draft is live. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into our semi-final. It is the Last Dance versus LAUBERS Fan Club. Infernal Shrines is the map, and we are heading into the draft. Feels good.
Happy to see Infernal Shrines now as well. Especially
Yes.
since we have also Breeze on the other side. So the question is, Diablo or no Diablo? So Last Dance, a little powerhouse over here against the Fan Club. Also the question is, of course, going to be what Ty is going to play here for the damage setup.
Well, let's find out. We're going to see the Garrosh removed. Clearly watching the last game. Taking that out of the equation. Very sensible here. So LAUBERS Fan Club, what do they take out? ETC, Johanna, if we're looking at tanks, supports, Rhaegar, Ana, all these heroes. It's going to be Tassadar. We were just talking about it for a solid 5 minutes, and it has fantastic AoE for the objective. Makes a lot of sense.
It was actually kind of cool because Zarya and Vala in particular were heroes that were played by LAUBERS Fan Club before we had all of those changes coming to those heroes. So even before Vala was buffed, Ty was the only player in Europe that at the time still played Vala, and with that Zarya setup. And these days when you see, let's say, Garrosh plus Zarya picked, there's always a good chance that you also see a hero like Vala picked afterwards. So with that ban on Garrosh, they pretty much shut that combo out already and make it a little bit less attractive to pick Zarya. She's still an option, but wouldn't really expect her here. Breeze going straight into one of his trademark heroes, straight going to ETC. Would have expected him to be either on ETC or Diablo. But here comes the Lauber Blaze main tank, at least as an option. So yeah.
Hope everyone has their nostalgia guitars out for that ETC, but Blaze, as you already mentioned, has the potential to, and so does Anduin, interrupt Mosh Pit if they play it right. They gotta play it well in order to do so, though. So Last Dance, probably with Rhaegar gone, Ana gone, Anduin gone, eating our way through the supports. In terms of priority, we immediately move to Stukov or Malfurion, and we do in fact see Malfurion. So we're not going to see any kind of unstoppable mosh pits in this case. It is going to just be the standard Nature's Cure, which does not grant unstoppable from Malfurion to remove crowd control.
It would be with Leo. Leo made it on this map even into the early bans in some cases. So in this one, he is picked together with Malfurion here, which brings us straight into the next set of bans. Chris and Poik still have their heroes, and Jimmy gets banned out. We've seen it a lot with Exterminator, trying to get the early lead on Infernal Shrines on the objective. But this is now an interesting one, because again, Blaze can be played as a main tank from Lauber, but they can also shift it around if they really need to. And I think the ban against Deathwing is actually a really nice one, because this is something that the Fan Club has played in the past, the two of them together here. So time for some damage, time for the picks here. Let's see what the Fan Club is deciding to do in this game. And again, this is going to be important.
The Auric does incredibly well into Deathwing, but it's just more sensible to remove it. We're going to be seeing the classic Johanna Blaze combo, and look who it is. Tracer, new and improved, question mark? Tracer going to be coming in here for LAUBERS Fan Club. First time I've seen her in quite a while, actually.
Tracer feels exactly the same. Like in terms of the impact that she has. There's like big changes. I mean, you have the 60 now on level 7. We have the new talent on level 4, which is pretty much standard. The 1-2 punch on level 1 for most of the European standard comps.
Ooh.
I could have seen them play Vala on Tai, which we didn't get. But now we have also Poik on Zul. So this is the first time that we get Zul here. And that's a ton of wave clear and rotational play. Leo plus Zul and Vala. Yeah, likely with a multi-shot setup, but again, it's Chris. He loves his arrow build.
Yeah, I would definitely guess multi-shot here, just due to the fact they need the AoE. But triple frontline, the question is this going to be a cleave Zul to add a third frontliner? Or are we going to see the lesser played Q-based Zul with the slows later on to really try and lock down this team and give Vala a lot more chase potential? This is going to be interesting.
I mean, burst damage now through Jaina, so for Tai is actually nice. Needs to be careful, of course, here. Of Zul in particular, but still. It's a good setup for them, too, if they can set something up for... I mean, I guess it's Water Elemental. I don't think they want to play with Ring of Frost here. But there's a lot of stuns now, a lot of control, a lot of slows. But Last Dance has so much wave clear as well. Both teams actually do. It's going to be an interesting one. Good setup for map number 1. I like it.
As do I. Also, chat is insisting that Chris is going to go auto-attack build to focus down Tracer, and they are wrong. Although I've been played before. We will see. But yeah, good drafts from both these teams. Massive wave clear, as you already mentioned, from The Last Dance. Is it going to be enough? Is there team fight potential? Valor can hypercarry. We have seen solo damage Valors in the past, and there is a lot of percentage damage. There's mosh pits to just give her the freedom she needs. Let's see if it works. It's a lot of potential. They just have to execute it correctly.
I mean, if you want to trigger a Caldo rant, then yeah, auto attack build would be a great idea for Vala. But I can see him go into arrow build. Like, he liked to play arrow build on this map too. Now, normally you see the multi-shot up here because it's just so powerful on the shrine. But if you feel you have enough wave clear with Leo plus Zul, then you could, in theory, try and also still play around that that arrow build, which gives you a little bit more one-on-one potential. Chris has done it in the past, but the standard would, of course, still be to go for multi-shot here. But the game starts in, and we're kicking things off in our best of 3 series here at the semi-final of Method Mayhem. And let's let the show begin. LAUBERS Fan Club against The Last Dance on Infernal Shrines, our first map of this series.
Breeze versus LAUBER, dueling it out already, and that is a familiar sight here. But no hard engages. Interruption on the rotation, though, from Breeze, demounting Tai, Henning, LAUBER, and Rutzau. He just got a 4-man dismount. He's able to make it down bot lane for his team, and they will grab all but 1 minion worth of experience.
Yeah, so Poik is gonna be... that's what I like about this team. Money picks everywhere. Okay, so I bet you dollars to donuts that we have Leo in a money pick. Wooby is running a money pick. You want to bet against it?
Absolutely not. Why would I do this sort of thing? It's silly.
He knows that the money pick is the best mount in the game. Rumor has it, it increases your movement speed by 5% and gives you also a bit of extra damage. Can either confirm or deny, but best players play the money pick. Has to be a reason for that.
So we're seeing Backlash on the Zul. Still the most commonly picked level 1 talent. It just is so good. And against Johanna Blaze, I can't see why they wouldn't. And we're going to be seeing no bold strategy, just the standard Q-based heal on the Anduin.
Yeah. Also, we got the 1-2 punch on Tracer. Now again, new talent on level 4, level 7, the locked and loaded. Typical setup right now. I don't really think that any of the Tracer players that we are potentially seeing will deviate away from that. We had initially, when the hero got reworked, some variation on the level 1 talent, but that's not really the case anymore. So this is pretty much locked in. Rutsu tries to get the kill here. Oh, Breeze actually not hitting anything. That was a really nice dodge, and that's the first kill. Poik goes down. Nicely done. Good Tracer setup here by Rutsu. Well played.
They pick it off, and that is the first blood. They get a tiny XP lead as they continue to clear out the lanes. Breeze mounting up. We are seeing Jailers. Looks like this is going to be the Q-based build for Zul. And of course, Chris going the sensible style here. He brings out that multi-shot with the Arsenal.
Goes for the multi-shot here, sets that up for himself. So far, so good. So that's tons and tons of wave here. I mean, if you go Leo alone, that's already insane. Then on top of that, you have Zul and you have Vala. That is incredible wave here for them now. And of course, on the other side, you got Johanna, you got Jaina, so it's not like they can't contribute anything on the wave clear aspect. But this should make for some really cool fights on the shrine.
Going to be very, very exciting here as we do see Zul currently being chased down in bot lane. Jaina gets some good damage off, but they don't have enough follow-up after Condemn to stop Poik from escaping. Wobby very fast up to top lane. They're just going to try and get a quick race advantage while Chris is trying to blast down that Fallen Shaman. Will be forced to retreat though, as he is versus 2 heroes here. Breeze also takes some damage while trying to soak, but will survive no trouble.
Now, the annoying thing for the red team is that we have for last... Ooh, careful, Chris.
Oh, careful enough.
Oh my god. 45 HP. But as I was about to say, the annoying thing is that Zul is just now going to rotate between the lanes and will pressure them. And they don't really have a lot of heroes that can meet that rotation. So they're sending Jaina actually down to try and do that. But that makes for a really awkward fight up at the top.
Jaina does have fantastic wave clear and will be able to keep up with this, but like you said, that's missing so much damage for this team right now. Chris is bullying Rutzau here, and they're forced off. Wobby just easily takes the objective here. That's going to be the first Punisher, which will be frozen, going over to the Last Dance.
Yeah, a bit of damage against Poik. They're actually slowing them down. They might even be able to get the kill here, honestly, but Zelia's now coming in, can cover the retreat easy. Broccoli comes down too. Yeah, bait over the wall, of course. Nicely done over here, and yeah, slowly taking this one down. I mean, it's gonna fall, but the wall will definitely be destroyed. So good aggression from Last Dance here. Structural value. Stun got just procced in the jump, but they defend against it. Roots, on the other hand, goes in deep. He really wants to put the pressure on the Chris. That's going to be a battle throughout the entire game, I suppose. Vala versus Tracer.
He does stay alive, does some good damage, but he is unable to finish off the kill. Still, 1 kill to 0. The Punisher taking down a front wall and a fountain so far. Immediate retreat coming out. Root will activate just in time there, and that's going to be some good Jailer stacks going over to Poik here. Very cool to see. Level 7 talents available for everyone as level 10 is creeping its way in.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's even experience nearly. The camps are up again, so you want to look at those for sure. Trying to make sure that you get at least one, your own camp. I mean, there's always, of course, a third one at the bottom that you can fight over. The 10 ability is a little bit quicker in play for Last Dance in just a moment, so maybe they can use that time window to start a bit of a fight. They got the tools, they got Breeze and ETC, and they got also Zool for the Bone Prison. And here we go. Level 10 is in. Breeze is already looking for an opportunity.
It's already Mosh. We expected that in Tomb. No pick from Zool, but with this build it should probably be Mages. Just for the sake of if it synergizes with his later talents, and it will be so. Bone Wall as well. This is very standard Q-based builds here. You don't actually need the cooldown on level 7. They will pick up that camp very easily. We'll put some good pressure onto the bottom lane. Breeze, again, like you said, really showing threateningly here.
Yeah. Again, it's all about like the for now. It's still really even. I mean, we have 1 kill only in the game. We're 6 minutes in. We've seen at the same time the Punisher taken by the Last Dance. It's still very even between the two teams, but it can really change with an heartbeat. Okay, the setup against Tracer doesn't really work out. Skips out on all of the damage. Doesn't even get hit by the Bone Prison here. So that was the most important too. And the next shrine is spawning mid side, and that will make things quite interesting here now as well. Trailer's coming again. Okay. That's good on this note. A little bit of bomb. It's always the thing with Tracer. You want to dish the damage out. You want to connect this as often as you can, and then just simply work on the next one.
Yeah, it burned out the cooldown here on the Bone Wall, so that will be not available for a bit, meaning Zool is a lot less safe in the lane right now. Zool, though, did complete Jailers, which means he's going to have a wonderful time once he gets that Decrepify. Always going to be good. And on the other side, both teams picking up their Fallen Shaman camps, ready to push in that top lane, while mid is contested, which is where the next shrine will be.
And this is also where the game will likely like shift into one or the other direction until we have like a very even battle with them trading kills. But if the blue team takes another objective, they should be able to walk away with significant structure damage this time. So Shrine is active, we're starting to jump in. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher, by the way. And here's where the Wave Clear comes through. Wooby is already working on the minion stacks for the Last Dance. It's a kill against 0 right now. Top camps are clashing against each other, so there's no pressure there. Bot lane, on the other hand, that's a bit of a different story. Last Dance was able to push another wave down, so it's some experience lost for the fan club. But if they can still win that fight, then that's not going to matter in the end.
See with a flank, Mosh Pit interrupted, but it's on a 10-second cooldown. Bunker comes out, and Light Bomb also missed. But that Bunker will be used to clean out quite a few of the objectives here and block off that entrance point. However, because of this, Water Elemental will expire. ETC, Mosh Pit back up, 16 to 21. Here comes Wobby. No Entomb, already used. They push their way forward. Mosh Pit comes in. Leap of Faith shuts it down.
27 to 19 now. Yeah, another setup, and this time the kill is in. Poik goes down again. Fantastic jet propulsion once more from Blaze, and they're looking for the follow-up here. But it's 36 against 19 points. Looks like we might still see Last Dance pick this one up if they can get another couple of shots connected, and indeed they do. Mortar Punisher coming in, barely escaping Johanna with another quick Iron Skin, and there's the 13 talents. The Gloom for Vala, the Last Dance. Again, as with objective number 1, they lose a hero, but they win the Punisher.
They push in, they get some good value there. Lauber. Pressure is applied, not enough. There's that Zool, he's bringing out those multiple scythes. Gonna sometimes the slowest, 16. He's already terrifying. As Copen, he's coming in from the side. He predicts incorrectly, though, and Chris and Breeze able to scoop past and escape.
Yeah. It's insanely tense. But game number 1 is actually kind of incredible. The trade between kills and objective between the two teams have been so consistent, and now the cam gets stolen. Oh, and he's dead. There's no way. Oh my god, Rutzo.
He gets out. Nice recall. Tried to go for the steal, gets denied, and in this case, Rutzo will escape, but that is now a big push in that bottom lane. Breeze actually takes a little bit of damage, accidentally face melted someone there to take the aggro. 4 will live though.
Yeah, that was actually kind of nuts that they were able to get him out there. I mean, holy hell, that was pretty incredible.
Oik sees this camp being taken. Any attempt to interrupt? No. He lets it go, drops some sides. Will pull back. They're trying to soak level 16, preparing for the next objective. They'll grab their own Kazura camp here. It's looking good right now for Last Dance with a slight lead, but LAUBERS Fan Club, no way out of this yet. Only half a level behind, moving out to soak. Blaze will soak top lane, and they still have a chance to bring themselves back into this.
No, they definitely do, especially if they can continue to get these kills in. As the game continues, kills will be more and more important because the death timers are increasing. So for every kill that you get, especially if it isn't against Leoric, you will establish more map control. But the 16 talent is now so close for the Last Dance that if they can hold that advantage through the next objective, they are likely to start this, to snowball this a little bit more. And the problem is also that the next objective is bot side. And bot side forward has already taken damage. I mean, look at the minimap. This is mainly... Even the bot lane has taken so much damage simply through rotations. Frost shot even for Vala now.
Every single fort has taken damage. Every single fountain on the side of LAUBERS Fan Club has been slain for their tier 1s, meaning they have to retreat all the way to tier 2s if they want to be topped up. Now with that frost shots, it's going to be even harder to escape. It's already looking rough for them. And as I said before, here's where it's going to be hard for them to escape. Like we said, they already have the frost shots, but now with that Zul level 16, it's basically going to be impossible for them to escape that Decrepify. 30% slow on Skeletal Warriors, Spectral Scythe, and of course you have those mages as well. Everything slows now, and Zul's going to make it basically impossible for anyone to leave while Vala chases them down.
Yeah, Vala with the frost shot on top of that too. Leo is there, and then of course the mosh pit threat from ETC. Control is definitely the name of the game for Last Dance now. At least, though, we have 16 versus 16. That's actually a big game changer here. So LAUBERS Fan Club successfully soaked the next talent before the fight. Now we still have our top lane hero sitting there and slowly rotating now down towards the bottom of the map. But this is really the fight that matters for the Fan Club. They got the kills, but they are still starting to trail behind. They're taking too much damage on structures. They need to win an objective. They need to get a kill. Good save, fantastic save. Oh my god, Whoopi wants it, but he needs to move out. Didn't want to go too deep here. Wraith walks away once more, but...
Try to turn it. Moshpit interrupted before even the wind-up happened there with the light bomb, but that's every heroic burned, and Moshpit is still available. They find Jada on the wraparound, and this time Ty is taken out.
Ty is down, couldn't do anything here. Now the slows are coming through, and just look at the numbers. 38 to 28. They take another objective. Topside fort has been eliminated by the camp. Yeah, and this is the Arcane Punisher bot side. So 2 forts already down before the Punisher even plays a role in this one. And this is where a bit of a snowball starts. The Last Dance. Dominant now. Slow early game. Losing a few heroes here, but now LAUBERS Fan Club in a position where they are getting absolutely beaten up. That's 3 forts down, and we haven't even seen the Punisher attack.
Exactly, they are pushing in right now. Didn't even use Mosh Pit in that last fight, so if this defense is maybe caught by a Punisher jump, this could turn into a full team wipe at a core end as Rutsa moves into the back line. Great start on Tracer. Breeze is on point with these. Blessio comes out, Chris chasing it down, he wants it! He wants it! Oh, shoot. Gonna Rutsa get away? Uh-oh, multi shot, frost shots, Rutsa, blink one more. The chase is real, the game's ending in the meantime, but down goes Rutsa. Breeze caught out in a little bit of a slow there, but does stay alive as they push forward. Keep will fall here. Question is, can they push further? Can they pick up kills? Can they maybe end the game with this? They're gonna grab, Lyra goes down, but Johanna killed in exchange.
Yeah, Joanna's down as well. I don't think they can go deep. Oh, actually, there's a jump and there's a kill as Anduin gets also eliminated. Bone Prison against Chain as they're moving in for it. By now, the ice prison is actually there, so they are able to get that in. But that helped a little bit. But
Yeah,
they
gonna
lost
let it
still
go.
3 heroes in total. So yeah, the ice block was good and saved at least Jaina, but that's a 2-level lead now. 4 kills against 3, keep down, Force eliminated. Oh, half level to 20. Oh boy.
If they'd got Jaina, that would have been a gain-win scenario. I think they still could have tried, but they definitely don't want to take the risk when they're so close to 20. They just back up, play it safe. The last dance, they are in position to take this game number 1. Right now, all they have to do is not mess it up.
Okay, there's the 20 talents. I feel like the bit of a saving grace for the frontline is that we don't have Manticore in 16, but again, for the blue team, it's all about the control here. That's why they went for Frostron in the first place, and that works. But of course, Entomb or Buried Alive for Leo is going to be massive here.
And speaking of massive, level 20 for Zool. Mortal Wound. Minus 75% healing, Buried Alive. Copen does survive, though. I'm amazed no one died there.
Attack again. Ice block. That's going to delay the inevitable without Anduin. There's just no way to save her. That's another kill against Tai. And this could be an absolute disaster right now. They're pushing through with those camps. They're trying to go for the next kill. Rotzer is down. The damage healers are gone. The bunker saves Copenhagen. But that's the only thing that it can accomplish. The keep likely to fall. Breeze gets attacked and nearly falls to the keep itself. But this is going to be the end of the keep, maybe even the end of the game if they can get a few more kills. They go for Lauber, they go for Johanna, and they might even be able to get him. A lot of attempts here of Henning to save everybody, but oh boy, are they currently getting wrecked here.
Buried Alive, onto Blaze, focus down, taken out. Finally, Moshpit is used. Gonna focus onto Anduin. Vala trying to get the finishing blow. Henning is down. And I don't understand how Breeze could hit every single power side on Tracer. That was incredible. As game number 1 goes over to the last dance.
Yeah, actually, really nice setup here by them. Initially, it was really a bit close, and we had those 2-0 kills for the fan club. They got 1 kill on every single objective, pretty much, but they always lost out on the objective. And after the third one, it just like snowballed. Their forts were already eliminated, and you can see that there were actually very clean rotations the entire game through those lanes to take the waves down and push the structures a little bit more. Even without the objective damage, the bot lane, for example, was already incredibly low. And then once that the Punisher was picked, Fort was already down. They moved into the middle, took the next one. At the top, the Shamans would have taken out one already. And then they go through onto the bottom. That third objective just absolutely wrecked the fan club, and they never really recovered from that.
We have a draft, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading in. LAUBERS fan club with the first pick, first ban, as of course the last dance took were given the map choice here. And they brought us to Battlefield of Eternity. Let's see what bans we're looking at here. So far, what was impactful last game? Zool, ETC, we still have Rhaegar to ban out, we still have maybe Anna and Johanna to ban out. This is just a scary amount of bans they have to go through.
Yeah, and well, with the first ban here, I mean, first picks are going to be, for me personally, a little bit more interesting because I want to see what the priority for the fan club is. The first thing that happens is that Deathwing gets banned out again.
Yeah,
but those supports that you pointed out, those are going to be important too. It's kind of funny to see ETC prioritized this highly and also now being banned out. First of all, on this map, ETC is of course an absolute bank and you want to get rid of him. But we also have the 2 well, I guess with Mopsio we have 3, but those 3, Lauber and Breeze, with then later on Mopsio, those were the ETC players. For Mopsio, it was always kind of funny because when he started to make his career, he was way too aggressive on ETC and was always looking for the power slide mosh pit, and then got absolutely destroyed. But then under the wings of ADRD, he started to play the hero differently and established himself as a super strong ETC player. But before that, it was always Breeze and Lauber who had those as their standard heroes, and seeing them go up against each other right now is kind of fun, and I think that also is one of the reasons why ETC has now such a high priority, that he ended up as a first pick on the last map and as a ban on this one.
Rhaegar makes it through the draft. Will be picked up by Henning here. LAUBERS Fan Club have that potential for that Bloodlust composition now, and if not, Ancestral's still good. Can't really hate on that too much, but now Last Dance, Johanna has been left available to them if they want to go down that particular tank route, and they have first priority onto whatever damage dealer they want. Li Ming, Vala, Greymane, Reyna, Tassadar, all fantastic heroes for race, and they go for 2. They pick up Tassadar again for Chris, was really solid in one of the early series we watched, and Greymane coming in for Poik.
Yeah, Greymane now in. Solid immortal damage already. I mean, Tassadar in general, just fantastic. Greymane more so the immortal damage dealer. Now you have Vala, Li Ming, and Reyna all up still for the fan club, and they can pretty much take their pick at this point. So which damage dealer do you believe in the most? You want to go for that bloodlusted Jimmy? Yep, they do. Jimmy comes in. Exterminator is going to be the level 1 pick, and we have Mal'Ganis together with that. All right.
First Mal'Ganis we've seen today. Yep. Kind of cool to see him pop up, and multi-man sleeps can be a good way to set up for Bloodlust and even interrupt Greymane and Tassadar if he can get them.
All right, next few bans coming out. So we still have the offlane, of course. Can be banned away here. I mean, Thrall in this case eliminated. We still have that Blaze setup that you could potentially go for. Malthael on the offlane, depending on how you want to play it here. Dibbles actually panned out, okay. Going for the main tank instead. Trying to limit the options of Breeze now that Mal'Ganis is already picked.
See what they go for then. With Tyrael still up, Muradin is still available, and we already have mentioned Johanna still in this as well. What way did they want to go? Johanna would be sensible, I think, because blinds are always nice. They don't pick it yet. Use Lucio, and you wanted it. Yorel coming in for Whoopi.
Yep. Good throwback here. I like it. The Space Goat for Whoopi. Awesome. I mean, technically, Breeze could, in theory, also like go for something like, you know, Muradin. We've seen it already in one of the previous games. Now, of course, Johanna is still up, so that's a big option. But Muradin for a couple of Storm Bolts also kind of nice. If you don't want to rely on that blind, so we'll see how that works out. For now, last few picks. What does Ty get, for example? We get the Panda, and we get Li Ming. So they actually get both, or 2 out of the 3 that I mentioned earlier. Reyna, Li Ming, and Vala were still up. They decided in favor of Reyna and Li Ming. Got the poke now. And how is Breeze going to react here? What are we going to get from him?
Yeah. Chen is a Bloodlust composition. Since the Chen rework, Chen slaps. So it's kind of cool to see him being mixed in with these auto-attack heroes. And the question is, will we continue to see that Bloodlust now? Li Ming's in the composition. We will find out. And now there's also a blind on the other side with the very sensible Johanna pickup as the final pick for the Last Dance.
Yeah, good setup again. I like it. Having also Lucio now in the lineup. And Celia and Lucio is already going to be terrifying. The only thing that could make this worse is an Abathur on top of that. If you get chased down by that, that would make it really tricky. But this isn't going to be easy for the fan club by any means. But they got good damage out there, for sure. They have also now the Rega setup that completely would help them to just destroy with, well, Jimmy, Bloodlust, getting the auto attacks in. I kind of want to see a third map, I'm not going to lie. But
honestly,
if they can do it or not, that's a different story. So Last Dance looked very, very dominant on map number 1. Very coordinated play. Not really a lot of opportunities for the fan club to really do anything about it. There were a few fights where they could have maybe changed things up a little bit. But different map. And another opportunity for the fan club to bring it back now.
Well, we'll have to see if they are able to do it, as this is, once again, as we've already mentioned, a very tough matchup for them. Because of this team, currently on the left, the Last Dance are 1-0 up. And LAUBERS Fan Club need to reverse sweep to make it to the grand finals.
It's not going to be easy for the fan club to bring that third map about here, but they have a draft that they are confident with. We know that from plays that they had there in the past. Can they pull through now, though? That's the big question. That's the question that we have to answer, and we are going to find out soon. TM, for now, of course, the traditional setup with our offlaners. Li Ming actually holding herself a little bit in the middle of the map now, not making a decision as to which map she is going to rotate to for now. Makes slowly move down to the bottom of the map in that 4 versus 4 setup that we normally see here. And yeah, it's time to shine. Let's go. I want to see. Can Last Dance actually go to the grand final here? Or will the fan club say, like, yeah, not that easily, boys. We're still going to fight back a little bit.
I mean, we saw what happens when LAUBERS Fan Club get a map taken off them when they went up against the Reformed players earlier on, losing that map for number 2, and they decided that they were not having any of it and took a very dominant win. Maybe that's what we'll see in this game number 2 as LAUBER putting on some aggressive plays. Nice little boot from Zalia, though, prevented the sleep from hitting anyone except for Poik.
Crashing towards the camp now. It's still a 4 versus 4, so they actually don't really care that nobody rotated just yet. They still got the wall, and they use that with really, really good timing. Have Zalia around also for a boot back. So they actually locked this camp in. Really nicely done by them. So good job locking this in. Can now also rotate someone towards the top side if you want to. And they actually seem to do exactly that with Raymain, who's going to make that rotation happen. Actually, very safe rotation around even, trying to keep them guessing a little bit. But at the bottom of the map, because of the 4 versus 3, we see the first blood happen. It's a kill against Chris.
Able to kill that off. Wobby going to join up with Poik. They're going to have to do that fast, though, because a rotation could happen. They will finish it in time, though. Zalia needs to take a much safer rotation. He just waits for everyone to retreat, though. Yeah, first blood for LAUBERS Fan Club here. They pull back. However, the 2v1 in top lane, Chen is going to be able to clean that up and hold, but he has to be careful. He could get punished if he does stay too long.
I mean, it's 2 camps now for Last Dance, so normally you kind of want to prevent that from happening, but the fan club, they got value in other situations on the map. I mean, first of all, them being able to take the tower down at the bottom of the map was already important. They got the kill, of course, with it as well. So it's definitely not a huge loss for them. They lost out on a bit of experience, but they, again, gained it in other situations now. So the camp is already about to be taken. And first objective, this is really where I want to see how much Jimmy can do here. His Exterminator setup is incredible and it kicks in at level 1 already, so he doesn't need a long wind-up or additional talents for this. It's of course a talent that we're also seeing from him here. But this is really where the fan club in an ideal world would already try to bring this back slowly, establish a bit of a lead, get the first objective running, ideally with the big shield, and then try and snowball this a bit so that they can force that third map that they're of course looking for.
Seeing LAUBER getting demounted, Copen rotating in. Everyone here ready to contest this objective. Hand of Freedom on that level 4 once again. Everything's looking pretty standard otherwise, although, actually, no, it isn't. Seeker, I believe, is the Li Ming level 4. Completely missed that.
I mean, on this map you can play all 3. We have seen a lot of term for it, but even that has been played quite a bit. Especially Macke, for example, likes to play this. Taya is taking a bit of a book out of it. Battlefield of Eternity is probably one of the few maps we see that a bit more often now. Here comes LAUBER again as they're trying to push in. Okay. And again, you look at the shield, the Immortal here is falling quickly. Rutzo on his hero is doing tons of damage, as we already expected. They take the halftime show without any problems whatsoever. So that's the power of Reyna in the early stages.
I'm mistaken, by the way. It is not Seeker, it is Charged Blast coming in here for the Li Ming. Cool to see that coming in. A little bit of extra damage on auto attacks. As we see LAUBER moving in. Gonna try and join his team on the offense. He's already tried to delay a little bit, and looks like LAUBERS Fan Club looking very good to take this, but Wobby, great delay tactics. Can they force him back with the Force Wall coming out? Zalia on the wrong side of it, but Ty on the other side of the wall is massively working on this Immortal and might be able to take it for good damage. They will pick out LAUBER here.
Yeah, they get the kill, and that's the thing they really needed, but the Immortal is taken. Copenhagen might have just committed Sudoku in order to get this, but they still lock this one in. Copenhagen is still not down, but I think it's going to fall eventually, and yes, he dies. Now, the death of Chen is a little bit more annoying that Mal'Ganis getting dropped here, because Mal'Ganis will be back for this. Chen won't, so they can now still push through the top, or at least try to get some damage as the Immortal traverses up. And yeah, level 7 is ready for both teams. So that gives us also Calamity, which is of course a big tool now in the hands of the fan club.
Lots of pressure being applied, Immortal being burned down as best they can. Good pressure from Johanna, keeping everyone back, and that will allow them to finish off the Immortal, only losing that front wall and a single auto attack onto their fort. Level 4 is hit. We do not see Seeker. It is just Charge Blast plus Calamity, of course. And we have to cleanse for Rhaegar. Very important here.
Generally speaking, when it comes to the structure damage, LAUBERS Fan Club have taken a slight lead. Nothing impactful yet. But it's really the experience that highlights what we've already talked about after the first game. The macro game of the blue team. They are doing incredibly well on this. They have very good control over the camps. They've now taken 3 camps in total. 3, I should say, Khazra camps. Obviously, they've also claimed their own Shaman camp. But they are now working on the one at the bottom of the map. And the rotations that they are highlighting here together with Xaylia and Lucio really make that play for them. So they are now taking elite experience simply through the fact that they are taking more experience on lane, that they take the mercenary camps, and additionally they got 1 more kill. And that leads to an entire level lead for them right now. That's pretty incredible, because around level 10, that's going to be huge. And if they hit it during the team fight, then whew, that could lead to follow-up kills and then an even bigger gap between the two.
We can see Last Dance there going for a nice little dive into the territory of LAUBERS Fan Club, unable to come away with anything in this case. Going to be looking good as there's engaged to come out from LAUBERS Fan Club, but no punishment was available because Xaylia speeding everyone out of there, preventing a turnaround. And with that, level 10 will be hit. Wubby needs it now, needs that level 10! He gets it! There's the Ardent Defender, and Wubby speeded away by Xaylia.
Yeah, clutching this one. No, still the level lead, and the Immortal is spawning, and yeah, that's a freebie. That's at least a halftime show for free. And maybe even more, because experience is not coming in quickly for the fan club. Well, actually, they take the cap, so that helps. Should be able to get at least 1 wave at the top, and the bottom camp is, of course, now pushing in as well. So for the halftime show, they should be ready. They're actually still racing this a little bit. So they get Jimmy onto the Immortal and are able to take several thousand hit points down. So that's kind of important here for them. It's a good job. They still need a bit more. They need those heroic abilities so that they can defend. Currently, it's not happening. And that's the opportunity. But there's the bloodlust. There's the setup. Are they going to throw for the kill? And indeed they do. Whoopi goes down. The blessed shield of Breeze not doing enough to save the goat. That's 2 kills against 2 in the fan club. Definitely back to business. Might be able to lock in another one. They got the damage. Rotation what's the top is a bit too late. Should be able to get this.
It's going to be close, actually. 4,000 to 4,000. They're going to try and race it in. Greybane turning into the Walking Form, racing it down. And it looks close. 100. It's going to go over to LAUBERS Fan Club by 200 health. And here comes the immediate retreat out of the Last Dance, but Poik unable to escape.
2 kills. So Chris goes down, Poik goes down. Jimmy is at the bottom of the map trying to save the fort. And he actually does, so that was important too. Top side, they take the fort, and all of a sudden there's a massive amount of momentum for the fan club here. They come in, they take the Immortal, they take 2 kills. They're able to drop the fort, and now they're moving through the bottom of the map. Lucio is just trying to speed away here, successfully so. But with 1 tower already eliminated in the early stages of the game, this wall falls within seconds, and I would be shocked if this fort doesn't get dropped as well. So LAUBERS Fan Club, with a lot of momentum all of a sudden. Copenhagen doesn't have the top kick plays here, needs to be careful. The Clutch Vandals.
I saw a 10 hit points in there. There's the root. Sound barrier comes out, and that will allow everyone to disengage. But yeah, I think Chen had 10 hit points when he got that transformation off.
Yeah, but as you can see, I mean, again, that last setup, they got 2 forts, they got 2 kills. They're still not ahead in experience, but they're definitely taking map control now.
They are. They're able to keep control of the Fan Club. Like we said, they don't like to lose maps. When they do, they get mad. And as such, they have a strong lead right now. 2 forts down. That's going to be a lot of static experience. They've control over the map. Mercenaries coming in. And they have a very minor XP lead, but that will grow over time, just those spots being taken out.
Yeah, Fan Club with a level 13. Again, these Bloodlust setups right now are going to be great for the Immortal too. And there's again, Lauber. Oh my god, setting the kill up for Tai, and what a kill. Nicely done, the Mal'Ganis setup, and then Lin Ming comes in and just drops Lucio. Securing the kill actually with the ult there. But whew, spicy one, and good timing too. So yeah, they are definitely looking like a completely different team now in the second map.
They really are massively pushing their way forward. Breeze just going to try and delay rotations by his team some time by losing time to respawn, which Xaylia is already back, making his way to the rest of the team. They're still in this. Level 30 just around the corner for them, just under half a level experience behind. This is not over for the Last Dance yet, but they do have to start taking better fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over by any means. We've seen on the last map how strong they actually are and how well coordinated they can play these fights. But right now, it's definitely the fan club dictating the pace of the game. With the next Immortal spawning, they also, I mean, Last Dance really needs to win this one. It would help them to establish a better hold on the map, take a few structures down. If they lose it, they are in danger of losing the keep already. And 11, 12, 13 minutes in, that would be pretty bad for them. But it's all about Jimmy. It's all about the setup. It's all about them trying to get onto either a fight or an Immortal with a Bloodlust and trying to take that down. That's a continuous poke of Tai, of course. That's what Li Ming excels at on this map. But if Jimmy can get a bit closer to that Immortal, then that's even worse. And Breeze is actually soaking a lot of this damage, as both teams are now also heading towards the Shaman camp to put more pressure onto the lanes.
LAUBERS split soaking some experience though, trying to keep them ahead, but he's going to need to come down and rejoin his team here if he wants them to actually take fights. As finally we are seeing the Last Dance put on some pressure. LAUBER makes his way in, big stuns, good cleanse though, will shut that down, but cleanse no longer available for a while. Raygun needs to be more careful now.
Jimmy rotates bot lane. He wants to take the Shamans down because their own fort is under so much pressure. So he gets that. Rubio, of course, has now taken towards the top to do the exact same thing. They are in danger of taking damage at the keep wall, so that's even worse. But Jimmy rotates in a little bit quicker, so that's a temporary 5 versus 4 that they immediately use to push in a bit more aggressively to try and get Jimmy into range of this. Jen nearly locked into the Immortal stun. Blessed Shield is out. Where's the triple when you need it? Not just yet. Here we go. Bloodlust is out as well. And here's the attack as the fan club is pushing towards the Immortal.
Both teams trying to get something to happen here, but neither one's able to take the advantage. Here come the bats into the back line as we do see Chen retreating with the Pandas. Will drop back into main form and drops enough to share. Rutsa, though, trapped by the Force Wall, but no one wants to hard engage here because they're too afraid of LAUBER, who comes with a 3-man sleep, but with no follow-up here. Leaving's desperately trying to pick someone up, but Breeze is tanking the damage beautifully, and they will force the retreat of LAUBER's fan club.
Yeah, really well done. The Last Dance now still in a good spot. The fan club slowly retreating here. That's a lot of ults that got used in that last fight. We didn't see a single kill. Overall, it's still 5 kills against 2 in favor of the red team. But now they fall back a little bit more. They were hoping to just get more out of this Bloodlust combo, and they just didn't. So it's getting a bit more spicy here. Now, there's still a tap happening for both teams now on the fountain in the middle. We've seen it from Last Dance as they rotated back. The same is happening for the fan club. It's a bit more poke as the red team is hoping to get the halftime show, but instead LAUBER gets attacked, might fall, and indeed does, as the Last Dance chases them down. The force wall against Copenhagen. Li Ming is trying to lock them in as they're gathering to take the Panda out. That didn't quite work, but now the momentum, of course, is heavily in favor of the Last Dance as they are trying to get the halftime show, and they indeed do. Clutch, though, very, very close.
Get the halftime show, pulling back, healing up as needed, holding it together for the moment. Lucio slowly ticking them up as level 16 is a little bit close for LAUBER's fan club, but 10 seconds away for the Mal'Ganis as Poik goes for the race.
Yeah, Poik is immediately going in. I mean, he does with Graven what he needs to do. They have a safe position for him here. Nobody can really contest that. So instead, it's a 4 versus 4 fight on the left side. But nobody can push into the Immortal. They're finally gathering a little bit of ground here, but it's just not really enough. They gain ground, but it's at a time when Poik has already taken this out easily. So the objective ends up in the hands of the blue team. And the only problem that they have is that on experience, there's a 16 talent now. So you gotta be super careful with this. I guess if they focus on the bot lane, they're gonna lock the fort in. But 16 versus 13 talents is not a battle that you want to take.
It is not, and as such, we're going to see the Last Dance playing a lot safer. Like you said, bot lane is going to be doomed, but that Immortal is not going to get a huge amount of value outside of being a distraction. However, that fort being taken is a lot of XP, and this very aggressive push could set them up for a future, more even talented fight as they grab that tower and weaken the gate.
I would still call this a bit of a win for the fan club. Well, I mean, not really. If the fan club takes the Immortal, it's obviously a lot worse, because then you push in with level 16 talents and a heavy objective. That's easily a keep, or at least a lot of damage towards it. But considering the position that the fan club was in, this was a pretty okay trade. You lose an Immortal, it's at 50% shield, and your opponent doesn't really get anything out of it. You're still ahead in experience. You still have an advantage in structures on the map as well. So it's obviously a bit annoying for the red team to lose out on the Immortal, but there were no real big consequences out of this. But for the Last Dance, they pretty much just bought themselves a ticket for the next fight.
And in this case, we do have percentage of damage now for the Last Dance on Yrel, which means they're going to have a lot better chance. Sorry, Yrel and Tassadar, so they're going to have a better time killing Chen, which has been a problem for them so far. Finally have a better chance to really fight and engage. Up the frequency, by the way, for Lucio. Not going to go with the Rejuvenescia here. No percentage healing. It's all about that consistent healing in these team fights.
Yeah, with Season Talents also. Mirror Ball, paint him red again for Jimmy. And the synergy with the Totem. Here's the Immortal spawning once more. And yeah, well, this is going to be one of the more decisive moments now. If the fan club wins this, they should get a keep. If the Last Dance wins it, on the other hand, since there is still a 4 top side, Immortal will move to the top, and there's still a chance for the fan club to defend it. So it's a little bit of an imbalance in how important that Immortal now is for the two teams. But here we go again, same positions as previously, so it's all about who can push into the enemy territory for the first set of damage.
Curse Bullet was burned there onto Chen, who is now healing up thanks to the Totem of Rhaegar, but Curse Bullet back in 16 seconds. Enough to share, keeping everyone shielded up and topped up here, but we do see Johanna moving fast, keeping Lauber on his toes, and preventing him from getting those big sleep plays, forcing him to back out.
The Chop is a problem. The Shaman camp was still there, so Greymane rotated in for it to take it down. That triggers a bit of an attack, but it's still a 5 versus 4. It's not really going as well as the red team was hoping, though. But they did a lot of damage to the Immortals, so it's not quite as 50 HP yet, but a bit more poke. They should be able to lock it in eventually. But here comes the 5-man setup now also for the Last Dances. They are trying to return. Oh, Blessed Shield is out, but dodged out most of the damage. Hai got a little bit of a near full bear from Tassadar. Whoopi, on the other hand, had to commit to his ult now too. They're trying to chase Chris down. He's on the run. Nice control from Whoopi as he moves them back. They're jumping onto Copenhagen, and the Panda is down.
They got the interrupt, they kited the Bloodlust. That could not have gone better for the Last Dance as they turn it round. Sound Barrier perfectly timed with the expiration of the Bloodlust, and they rush that Immortal, looking to try and claim an advantage here. Wobby in position, but he gets sleep. Quick nap time. But, wow, their Immortal damage is not great without Greymane in melee mode, but they're slowly working it down.
It was a beautiful turn, actually. Zelia contributed so much in the team fight there, too. And it was honestly incredible. I mean, first they're really moving out, trying to save the team, and then they see an opportunity as Chen goes just a bit too deep, and they're turning it around, collapse onto him, and yeah, that was just absolutely nuts. That was fantastic, and that's great for the Last Dance now. The fan club, they are starting to lose more and more ground here. They're still ahead in experience, but this is going to change soon because this is another Immortal for the blue team. Top 4, the top 4 is going to fall. The only question really is how much more can the Last Dance now get, because the momentum is slowly swinging and they are looking better and better as the game continues.
Blessed Shield was used in that last distraction play by Lauber, who was able to sidestep it, so it did not land. He is alive for this defense, and Blessed Shield will not be up for another 30 seconds, meaning this is a much safer defense for Lauber's fan club than it would be otherwise. Chen, enough to share, keeping everyone topped up, keeping everyone shielded. As they drop the healing totem, and the harassment comes in, but it's a full 5-man. Both teams here with level 19 available for both teams. Bats is active, and will allow Mal'Ganis to escape. Undefender traded out for it, though, as Yrel is forced to back up, and Lauber's fan club retreat to tier 2s.
Yep. I mean, that was inevitable to lose the fort, but they traded for quite a bit of shield and HP on the Immortal, so that's kind of nice. Didn't lose anyone either, we're hoping for a bit of a win there. They need to try and hold the key. That's pretty much the biggest thing for them right now. And they're doing a lot of damage here. They're really poking nicely against the Immortal. As long as they can get Jimmy into a position where he can dish out the auto attacks, it's all fine. So they saved the keep. That was the big one. And they are still on even experience with the opponent, even slightly ahead. So level 20 talents shouldn't really be an obstacle. But it's again incredibly close. Much closer even than the last one. On the last game, we already talked about the first few mortals, but it was more of a macro win, a macro advantage for the Last Dance. This time they are starting the comeback after the fan club rolled over them in one of the earlier fights. But this is anybody's game to take here.
Bot lane being taken, more Impaler camps being removed here, but here are the level 20s available for LAUBERS Fan Club. Reyna going with the Gibbs and Pepper weak spot acquired talent. And Gladiator's Warshout, though. That's where the big play is going to come in here for Rhaegar. And multi-man Bat Sleep for the Mal'Ganis. As level 20 is now hit for the last dance.
Yeah, Gladiator's Warshout on the other side. Okay, so we're pretty much ready for the next Immortal here. There's already aggression out through the bottom of the map with the camp and the catapult. But let's see. Lauber and his boys can get a kill here. Again, this will be tricky. I love how much confidence the Last Dance have. That they're just jumping in with this and saying, okay, we're going to take even more hit points off that keep, even if we can't take it down. Here comes the Panda with a little flank coming in from behind. Lucio Greyman is dead immediately. The Panda coming in, feet first. They're going for the first kill. Wooby jumps out. Zelia, of course, helping them to escape. Tai comes in with another teleport, tries to get a kill. Zelia is low, and they can lock him in easily. Chris barely makes it out. But that should at least be a kill against Lucio. And indeed it is. And maybe even another follow-up on the left side where they go for Jojo to complete that triple kill.
Grease is gone, taken out. That is a big deal here. Lucio actually delayed. Zelia delayed his level 20 pick to try and match it with the team. And I think he quick picked Summer Anthem, but it wasn't activated fast enough to keep Greymane alive. And as such, this is now a 5-man push onto the keep and potentially the chorus. Chris is being chased down, nowhere to run, and that just leaves Wubby to defend against all 5 members, and he's putting everything into it. He has Ardent Defender. 8 seconds until Greymane, but there's still a 1 versus 4 right now. He's got to try and hold, but it's not looking good.
No, it definitely isn't. Whoopi is trying, and Poik is also back, but the shield is already gone, and they're going for the core. 3 still down for another 14 seconds, and this should be game. LAUBERS Fan Club is coming in and forcing the final map in this best-of-3 series. Nice play and a great victory after they initially started to struggle in the mid-game. Last Dance picked up a lot more momentum, but then the final fight as the Fan Club locks in the W and forces game number 3.
We are heading to that 3rd map, ladies and gentlemen, in our semi-final, which is going to be good news for the team in the grand final because Washed Up have won their semi-final and are waiting for the winner of this. And now, more importantly than anything else, they get scouting information because they get to watch this 3rd game.
Exactly, so they get a bit of an idea of what's actually happening. First of all, they of course can look at both teams right now and then also see who wins, prepare for that a little bit, discuss that through. But yeah, good comeback here. Really nicely done by the Fan Club, able to win this one. And that last fight that Chen flanked, the early kill against Greymane, super important. Zelia trying to save everybody was just a little bit too much for him to handle then.
Looks like we have the draft, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading into game number 3 of this best-of-3 series. Winner moves on to the grand final, and already tank bans are the name of the game, with ETC banned by LAUBERS Fan Club and Garrosh banned by The Last Dance.
Ana gets annihilated. She gets taken out now too. So for me, still the question, what's happening around Vala? I could totally see Chris try and go for an arrow build here to control the boss a little bit. Greymane also still up. I mean, even Rhaegar is a hero that you could potentially see either banned or picked early because he is excelling at any kind of camp clear. And there's obviously a lot to be had here in Cursed Hollow. And in addition to that, we've just seen what a good and well-timed Bloodlust can actually do to your opponent. Tacita ban, that's also a nice one. So Chris doesn't get that hero. Makes the Vala maybe even a little bit more likely.
Good point, good point. We'll see if that makes it through. It is their first pick. I think Vala's an acceptable first pick. Yes, it's going to lead into a bit more of a divey comp from LAUBERS Fan Club, but it's still super strong. If not, though, Rhaegar's still available.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the Rhaegar setup.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of would expect here, and we actually get him. So that immediately starts to change the equation a little bit, because now you have to think about heroes like Greymane, you have to think about the Tyrael pick. That combo, as we highlighted previously, was incredibly dominant for roughly a week until the teams just said, okay, you're not going to get away with this against us anymore. So if at this point the Fan Club wants to shut that down, they have to pick either one of the two. They don't, and they instead go into Robin plus Medivh.
Robin is in the skin, I assume, was the reference there.
Definitely.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, if you want to do proper memes, it's Robin and Nightwing.
What? I'm not that deep into that stuff.
Fair enough.
That's a Robin skin for me. We just need Batman in there as well. So someone pick Rexa, please.
Or Morganis.
Or Mal'Ganis, that works too. Yeah, I'm okay with both.
And here it is. The Lord of Terror himself. It is Breeze's Diablo making its way in. That makes sense. I think they're afraid of the Medivh Diablo combo, and also obviously ETC's already gone. Makes sense to just pick it up now.
So now we got Yrel in again, and we have also Diablo together with that. Whew, spicy already. But yeah, Anduin and Medivh on the other side. This could be pretty good, and it could be pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's a good foundation. The problem is I look over to Last Dance, I see Orega, I see Yrel, I see Diablo, and I'm like, oh my god. Now, at least they got the ban on Jimmy, but there is so many damage setups that you can go for now.
Alright, hear me up. Maximum meme potential. Diabolical momentum, and then overpower cooldown, overpower charges for Diablo, Bloodlust. And then you just keep one person locked down forever.
I mean, Breeze is already one-shotting stuff after level 16 anyways. I'm not even sure if he needs that. He's just like, yeah, thanks, but I'm fine.
There it is, Batman!
Yeah. So Batman and Robin are now in. So is Vala. Who was it who Breeze one-shotted at BlizzCon? That was Fan, right? Like when Fan was playing Tracer and he just like one-shotted him out of nowhere, and then from that point on they were just like, yep, not gonna do that again against him anymore. I still remember that. Fan after that talked about it, was like, yeah, that guy is just insane. I'm not gonna play Tracer into this any longer. This not happening. Chris on the bird! And it's hammer time! Poiking it, alright.
It is hammer time. There's no... I mean, this is risky, because this is hammer into Medivh, a fantastic way to enter into Hammer's range without having to step through the artillery. So as long as they have a decent second frontliner, I'd say probably, to allow that lockdown potential on Hammer, this could work. Let's see what the final pick is. Deathwing. Well, that's a second frontliner. That'll certainly do it.
Yep, that definitely will. Alright, game 3. I mean, again, final map between the two teams here. It's hype as hell. Cursed Hollow is the map. We get a bit of global action here. We got Falstad. Got Deathwing on the other hand. So Dragon versus Chicken is what we're gonna get here today. And also we have Batman and Robin for the fan club. What could go wrong?
I've been trying to think of something for Vala, but I don't know of any Batman comics cowboy-based superheroes or supervillains. So we'll have to let that one go. I'm pretty sure it's one in Justice League, but I, for the life of me, don't remember who it is. Either way, yeah, it's looking good heading into it. Right now, that Medivh is obviously the wild card.
Yeah.
The ability to just dive into the backline onto Hammer, but you are diving into Yrel Diablo. And the question is, how brave do you feel?
Medivh is definitely the linchpin here. So if they can do a good job with him, they definitely have a lot of chances. Also, he can interrupt any kind of setup with, let's say, Bloodlust, for example. If you just simply go for your ley line, you can do a whole lot with this. So there's a lot of potential if Medivh can really come through for the team here. But yeah, this can also easily backfire. But we'll find out. We're going to jump into the game now. We're going to see who wins the third one. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 coming up here.
10 seconds.
The last dance versus LAUBERS fan club.
1-1. Winner moves on to the finals. Like you said, Chris on the bird, giving them some global potential. In fact, he is not joining the fight. It's a full split up by the last dance, with Yrel heading top, Falstad heading bot. And so far, LAUBERS fan club, they go for the 4-man, but they finally split up once they reach middle lane with Deathwing capturing the vision and getting ready to hit bot lane.
Alright, so let's have a bit of a look on who is going to take the lead over here. I mean, again, this is map number 3. We had an incredible close game on the last map, which was honestly super exciting and definitely showed that both teams are capable of totally playing on the same level here. And that's something that the fan club has to aim for now. A lot will come down to Medivh. We got our Batman and Robin set up with Anduin and Mal'Ganis, of course, as well. And Ty is the main damage dealer for them, so Henning is already trying to protect it a bit. Polk, of course, on the other side will heavily wait for his level 7, so that he has an easier time moving through here. Let's keep an eye on Midi, because Rutsu is already getting attacked, and Breeze definitely has his eye on him.
Point going for damage, just going for the ambush here at level 1. On maps like Infernal Shrines where we see Hammer, we have seen people go for the maximum AoE, but in this case, he wants burst, he needs it to follow up on Diablo, it makes a lot more sense to pick the ambush. Also, Wolf Run coming in for Rhaegar, and it is a Q build, but on a different player.
Yeah, so this makes a whole lot of sense. Again, if you want to play on this map, there's a huge argument in favor of the arrow build, simply because you can control not only the mercenary camps, but you can also easily take any boss on the map if you establish a bit of a lead. Get a kill around an objective fight, for example, once that you have your level 7 talent in, and ideally the level 4 completed, you can just simply move in, take that boss down super easily with the rest of the team, and establish a massive amount of map control, especially if you go for a double boss play. So Vala is going to have a huge impact as the game continues to the camp clear. I'm talking about camps. Both teams are now trying to lock this one in around the first objective. But yeah, also an auto attack build for Falstad. So we actually see a lot of auto attack pressure on the side of Last Dance between Sergeant Hammer and him.
Makes sense to burn through Deathwing. That's still kind of interesting. This map especially has been one where we've been seeing a heavy focus on bribe coming in for false stats with that wingman. But in this case, not going to happen. But also, Vala waiting quite a long time to pick that level 4, but to be fair, it wasn't actually fighting any heroes, so didn't actually need to pick the stacking talent if she didn't need to. But it's the build. It's going to make a lot of sense to pick that up. Really go all in into it. Increase your burst potential by so much.
Yeah, 13 seconds also for Medivh. Deathwing goes down. Yep, that's the first blood in the game too. Obviously annoying, but as long as you at least keep your Medivh in play and he's able to complete his baseline, that's the most important part here, at least for the time being. But that's obviously already a bit of a setback. Talking Medivh, he's sitting topside. That's not where I would have jumped down. Right in front of Breeze is always tricky. No fear though. Tribute is up. And we get the dragon back.
Mines make their way in, annoy LAUBERS, slowing him down. Zalia channeling, and he gets it right before Copen lands. There's the unstoppable by Poik. He immediately boosts out there with that siege tactics to make sure he doesn't get in danger. And everyone pulls back. Falstad's still going for that boomerang, really wants the wave clear here. And Hammer, I believe it's now time for Hover Siege.
And that's a little bit of an annoying one for the fan club, because before level 7 you have an easier time against Sergeant Hammer, so if anything, this was the one where they could have had maybe a bit of an easier setup against him. But the tribute goes over to the Last Dance. The 7 talents are now ready on both sides. We got 20 stacks for Medivh, 10 already for Falstad though with a boomerang now.
Yeah,
and 0 for Vala.
Diabolical momentum, baby. My meme strats may actually be viable. Could be going for the maximum resets here. In this case, though, he's gone for Sacrificial Soul, so it's very unlikely to be the talent I was talking about, that the Overpowering Nightmare. Instead, it's more likely to be Domination for the second use of Shadow Charge.
Falstad gets a lot of value bot side, by the way. I mean, yes, he is pretty much uncontested here. Tai goes down at the top against Whoopi. This is not looking too pretty. Falstad has now started to get some company bot side as Deathwing jumped in, but that's a level lead. We have a level lead already. That should not happen this way.
Yeah,
so
level lead of 5 minutes. That's how strong it's looking right now.
That's Last Dance just doing an incredible job on the macro side. Again, as on Infernal Shrines.
They are holding for the moment. However, we have to pay attention, of course. Medivh, as the game goes on, especially if he can finish his stacks, will be good. Cataclysm's going to be used. We see a very big retreat coming out of the Last Dance. In fact, they're going to abandon the objective, but it looks like Falstad is not even moving to join. Neither is Hammer and Diablo. Speeding away, thanks to Wobby. They choose disengaging.
Yeah, but Falstad was at the bottom of the map the entire time. I mean, they leave him completely open there. I honestly don't really understand what the play is going to be at this point. They are nearly 2 levels ahead right now. They have level 10. Falstad is already working on one of the forts. Topside is in a similar situation. Vala is now making a very, very slow and safe rotation towards the bottom fort. Chris just moved out. But this is pretty much a freebie on the next tribute, and they took a lot of damage on structures already. Macro level doesn't really look too great just now for LAUBERS Fan Club. So they have to pretty much get level 10 and then dominate in one of the fights. Medivh completing the baseline would be nice for that too. But this one, they're going to let slide. There's no way they're going to fight for this. It's not happening.
Teasing us with his not picked level 10 yet. It's almost certainly with this build as well on the Falstad going to be that Bloodlust. And with Diabolical Momentum on Diablo, it would be really, really weird to see him pick Ancestral. But finally, level 10's coming in for LAUBERS Fan Club. We do see the bats, and we do see the ley line seal. And Medivh, focus down, got to protect the stacks. He will get out.
Okay, a lot of damage onto him. Still able to easily move out of harm's way. But now they have the level 20. So, sorry, the level 10. So this is really where I think
not that far ahead,
to do something. Yeah, a little bit too far into the game. You shouldn't spoil everything here.
Alrighty.
Recorded on Shu or Shu on head.
Why do you think there's the delay? As Copenhagen's gonna blast through some minions here.
Don't give them ammunition. But then again, aren't you happy that this goes to level 20? I know I spoiled it a little bit now, but yeah.
Oh, I'm super excited. I'm willing to see your premonition come true. As bruiser camps are picked up by both teams. Diablo, gonna force away Mal'Ganis here. They're still racing out his boss. It's not very fast, but they are getting it.
Yeah, and topside is of course taken too. This is where Vala comes into play now. I mean, not only her, but the rest of the team, of course, as well. So, Medivh's probably sitting at the bottom of the map. I still remember the Hazorb's layout line that just simply stole the entire thing away, but they're all splitting out to exactly prevent that. So instead, topside, Chris? No.
Well,
he gets the kill! But he might die too.
Barrel win? No. Strafe gets the kill. They're going for a counter one though. Great force of will, but Heading's in trouble. BFG comes in from the bottom of the map, and they're going to try and take the fight here. Good portal. Rutsau gets out of here. We have Giant Killer now for Falstad. Not going to make a difference in this fight as he's dead, so as Zalia is going to outrun LAUBER with the Bloodlust there.
Medivh working overtime on the other hand. 2 shields coming out. They're definitely saved heroes. So it's a 1-for-1 trade in kills. But that still stacks for Falstad. It was actually nicely done by Chris, forcing this battle, and now they're going, of course, for the Curse Tribute, potentially. Oh, Medivh goes down and loses all of his stacks. Oh my god.
F in chat for Stark, as T is still harassing Breeze and Wobby. Gonna peace out, but Copen's back. Zalia being forced to retreat. Boik also having to boost away. Looks like they might just have to give up this tribute. Wobby is out of mana.
Yeah, bosses, by the way, we're still up for a bit. Down bottom keep wall has taken some damage. The one at the top has moved to the fort. The fight goes still on, and that's a kill against Vala. She goes down, and that might even be more. Breeze is a bit isolated, is looking for another potential wall stun, buying himself a bit more time, able to move out, and that's a curse potentially. Yeah, there's even the BFG, securing them a little bit more space. And that's a curse against the red team. Nicely done. The last dance with a great play here.
Everyone was so low there, but they came out of it well enough. Falstad even flew top lane to clear up the minions that came with the boss that was taken earlier. So they're able to neutralize any extra damage too. Now it's just all the pressure they can do, trying to pick up some structures. Falstad's going to push in top lane, see if he can grab himself a fort.
He should be able to, and it's not only the fort. He also is able to go. He will be able to lock himself a few additional points on the level 1, and he's already sitting at 32, which is really good for him as well. This is rough now. Losing the Medivh stacks is tricky. Falstad now joining up with the rest of the team in the middle after he pushed another wave out. The top fort is definitely going to fall. Bottom keep is about to fall. That's even worse. So they are losing so much ground here. It's a 2-level advantage for the last dance as well. The fight over here, on the other hand, Zalia with the Bloodlust, they're able to move out. Bot keep is now gone. Top 4, Deathwing dead. They are crushing through them at this point, Tetcher.
They really are. That was a good gust, and while everyone survived except for the Deathwing, that was still rough to see. Force of Will being used here. Mal'Ganis has stepped out quite far. Lightbomb going to try and save him here. Portal is out, but the stun from Yarel. Strafe, though, looking good. Azalea, though, with Wolf Run. He's piecing out Hungering Arrow. And he sidesteps the Leyline Seal as well. Wobby with the knockback for disengage. And Azalea survives again.
The Juke Master 2000, dodging out on all of the damage, and then even the Leyline, which would have most likely led to a setup that finishes him. Breeze still trying to help the team out here. They're keeping Wooby alive.
They have no health. Stop fighting.
But there we go. Oh my god! That portal.
That was, I don't think it would have killed anyone, but it was really close. I wouldn't have wanted to take the risk either, so that portal was pretty clutch as the Siege Giant camps being picked up for both teams and Deathwing clearing up the XP top lane.
Yeah, they lost so much in that curse. 3 forts and the keep, all destroyed now. 2-level lead, 16 to 14. This is really, really rough. And even the stacks, of course, as we said before, lost on Medivh. It's a tough situation for them to be in now. It's actually incredible.
Wobby making his way up, clearing out the minions here. No trouble at all. Azalea and Breeze, though, they see that camp's happening. If Azalea had been a bit more aggressive, they might have gone for it. They gust, but Portal shuts it down.
Yeah, once again, Medivh setup. Super important that he's going to be able to set those portals for them, get those shields in. He did a great job earlier. 17 stacks for Vala, 38 for False that he's nearly done. He is about to get the activatable to get the additional attack speed out there. Yeah, Deathwing comes in. They're trying to go for the fight here. Rhaegar put to sleep. They're trying to portal on top of him. That didn't really work out. Deathwing comes out with the ult. They're trying to go for Whoopi. Once again, the BFG coming out. A lot of damage against Ty here as we have Mal'Ganis pushing the rest of the blue team back, trying to create some space. Anduin is down though. Vala completing the quest, but everybody on the blue team still alive and looking for more kills.
Even with the light bomb hitting multiple members, the bat bomb attempt from Lauber, they weren't able to follow up and they weren't able to get it. As Season Marksman is finished for Chris, they are in full control. Wobby is heading down to grab themselves another tribute as they clean out the entire front wall. And well, they can keep going if they want to. Poik creeping forward. However, respawns are coming in. Mal'Ganis already returning. Siege Giants in top lane. And only a little bit for Anduin to get back. Looks like we're finally going to see the retreat.
There's 2 bosses up on the map now as well. So it's at least 16 versus 16 from the perspective of the fan club. And here comes Manticore. That's definitely going to be helpful for them to try and put more pressure on Breeze on this Diablo. Medivh is already sniffing all of this out, and they're looking for the fight, and why wouldn't they? They have to, especially since they can't sacrifice the bottom boss because they lost the keep of the bot lane. So if the blue team gets this one, then they're in even more trouble, and they are playing this aggressive. They actually want to get this boss. They need to remove it from the map.
It's already been leashed twice, though. There's the third, and that will prevent it from being taken. Here is the Force of Will dropped onto Mal'Ganis, but Medivh not so lucky. F for stacks, BFG! And Deathwing going to come in. He's going to have to use the Bellowing Roar if he wants to get everyone out of here, and he will. But it might not be enough for Anduin, and definitely not for Valor, as Deathwing is being forced to back up as Wobby and Breeze chase it down. Lauber is gone. Lauber is out. He will leave here. He went to sleep. Never mind. Hi, Chris. Chris will come in for the save. No, Bats. How is he alive? Kill him. There we go. Chris
Batman
gets the kill, and
Robin,
everyone else is
they
on to
both
call.
died. Batman and Robin both down. 12 kills to 1, and the last dance will make it to the grand final as they move on to the core to take the fan club down. We're going to see a grand final setup between Washed Up and The Last Dance, a best-of-5 series between the two teams here. Great performance by The Last Dance and a very impressive last map with a 3-level lead as they lock in the victory.
LAUBERS fan club, though, still a very impressive performance by them. Looking forward to seeing them in the next cup as well, because that was an insane best-of-3 series between these two teams. But the last dance in that last game, very convincing, looked good, a well-deserved place in the finals. Will it be enough to take out Washed Up? This should be crazy.